This is the first of our senior school information evenings. This is for the current grade 8 students and parents who are moving on to grade 9. I just want to take a second, and I'm certainly not going to read it, but as we start to talk about what the course options are and what the co-curricular opportunities are and what senior school looks like, I think it's important for us to just remember who we are as a school and what we aspire to be. So this is our mission, and our intention is that what we do in the classroom, in co-curriculars, in students' learning, helps to achieve this mission. This is our vision, a very bold mission to be diverse and inclusive, and to be leaders committed to shaping a better world. That's what we want to do for your students, for your children. So when we're talking about which level of French or which course option we take, so let's try and remember this bigger picture as well. We're going to start off with the introductions, and I'm going to do that. So first of all, again, welcome to this evening. My name is Mark Salkeld. I think lots of people may know me, but for those who don't, that's who I am. I'm the Deputy Head of School. I want to put out a particular welcome to any new families, any families that are new to LCC who are here this evening. There may be a few. Very warm welcome to the LCC community. There are a lot of us hosting this call this evening. I'm going to ask a couple of people just to say hi, and others will appear as they speak. So first of all, someone who all current grade 8 LCC families know, Miss Tammy Groff. Hi, Tammy.
Good evening, everyone.
Now, Miss Tammy Groff is someone who you've all learned to know and love. Her equivalent, certainly not better, but just different, let's say, in grade 9, is our grade 9 coordinator, the wonderful Matt Polak. Matt, would you like to say hello?
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Bye.
A couple of other people who are important as you move into important in middle school and as you move into senior school, someone that you should know who they are. One is June Takacs. Hi, June.
Hi, everyone. Good evening.
And June is our IB NYP coordinator. And someone who you may not have come across yet is Kim Tullock, who is our Director of University Advising. Kim?
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight.
There are some other people who are going to basically lead this presentation this evening. Constance McGuire, who's our Director of Academics. Michelle Owen, who is our Director of Student Life. Maggie Owen, not to be confused with Michelle, who is one of our academic advisors. And we also have our department heads of the fine arts, Scott Shane, and of modern languages, Carolina too, of language acquisition, Carolina too. So those are the people who are on the call and will deal with some questions perhaps. To that end, we hope that we will answer most questions that you have in this presentation. The Q&A button on the bottom of your screen is enabled. If you want to ask a question, you can put it in there. Like I say, I hope our presentation will answer it. We will endeavor to either text you back personally on there to answer the question to everyone. And if we don't get to it, someone will get back to you in the next day or two. Our intention is that we wrap this presentation up by about 7:10, that almost panics a few people, by about 7:10, because we all have another presentation for the grade 9s into 10s that starts thereafter. So our agenda for the evening, we're going to look at the grade 9 curriculum and how that looks going into senior school, and then a little bit about co-curricular life of the senior school. So without further ado, Miss McGuire.
Thank you, Mr. Salkeld. Mr. Salkeld forgot to mention what is my most important title at LCC. I'm also an LCC parent. And this time last year, I was in your shoes with my youngest, who was in grade 8 at the time, thinking about what senior school would look like for her come this year. So I can understand the many questions that you will have about what is it going to be like for your son or daughter next year. So the first thing I want to talk about is just basically the timeline for what we're doing. We have our presentation to parents tonight, and if there's any students who are attending with their parents, welcome. There's also guided sessions that our academic advisors are doing during advisory periods, and if parents want to talk to one of our academic advisors, they can reach out to make an appointment. And then the important due date of April 1st for the course options form. And that you will be receiving by email after tonight's presentation, along with a lot of other information. So you have a chance to talk it over with your son or daughter about the courses that they will get to choose for next year. If you can advance, Mr. Salkeld. And before you skip this slide too quickly, I just also want to point out that I love looking at this picture because you'll notice that it's what life at school was like before the pandemic. And it is hopefully what life will be like at some point back in school. Students sitting close together, engaging. This looks like a math class, and having that experience. So we're hopeful that we will get back to that sooner rather than later. So the first slide talks about the required courses in grade 9, and this should not be anything new to our students, right? Every student takes English, every student takes French, math. One difference is that they will take either history or histoire. So coming out of the French stream in the middle school, they will have the opportunity if they want to continue with taking their social studies in French. Some parents will ask why we don't have that option in science. And the reason for that is that the ministry exam in grade 10 science is in English. So we started having everybody do it in English so they're better prepared for that science exam in grade 10. Students will have the opportunity also to continue with their ethics and religious culture class, physical education, and Spanish. And we call those the required courses. Now, this is where grade 9 gets interesting in that students can have a choice of the arts class that they will take. So I'm going to ask Mr. Shane to come on the screen, and he's going to talk about the different streams.
Hi, everyone. So next year, unlike this year where it was an option between music or a split of drama and art, it's a split 3 ways. So it's either a visual art, drama, or music. So for art, it's a continuation of the course that Mr. Sykes taught, but now it will be Ms. Hutchinson, that is the senior art teacher. It develops the course according to the student's needs, interests, and abilities. So the year is basically divided into units of study. They're discipline-based, based on painting, drawing, printmaking, and sculpture, and Canadian art history. All units have a drawing component, theoretical component, and usually a written reflection, which fits in with the IB. There is also a written art history research project, and homework is assigned with a portable sketchbook. Students have the opportunity to exhibit their work in the gallery space that's located on the 3rd floor. And hopefully we'll all get to experience that next year. And there are slideshows that are usually shown at live assemblies. To help students complete their work, there's also an art club which happens after school. For drama, it's Miss Mahoney again that teaches all grades, and it's an acting class at the grade 9 level, and students must be prepared to perform in front of the class, and in fact the whole grade. It's an exploration of acting techniques with a focus on collaboration, confidence, and creativity. She also, just a note, runs 2 co-curriculars for all senior school students. So the first is an improv club, which any art, drama, or music student can join. And the second is the senior school play, which is open to all senior school students, regardless of art form. She may possibly run a small trip next year within Canada, depending on where we stand with the pandemic. Grade 9 music is a course that's a continuation again of grade 8. In addition to being taught in the classroom by the regular music teachers, including myself, we also hire professional musicians to come in and work with the students, which we haven't, of course, been able to do this year, unfortunately. In addition to having music 5 times a cycle, grade 9 students also become participants in the senior concert band. So it's an automatic enrollment for that. This ensemble is comprised of all students in grade 9, 10, and 11. and they have a practice Mondays after school, which is a mandatory component of the course. The good news, additionally, is that while sports is very important at LCC, and I support that, during this time slot, there are no practices and games are avoided. If there happens to be a game during the year, then of course they go to the game, but generally we work around those conflicts. Students are also expected to attend the senior band camp, which it's usually the third week of January. We'll have to take stock of where we are in September and decide when that may be. We might push it back towards the spring. There's also the annual band trip, which is an optional trip. This year we were supposed to go to Berlin and Amsterdam, but of course that didn't happen. That probably won't happen again next year either. However, we'll make a judgment call in September. In all likelihood, we'll aim for the spring and something within Canada. Co-curriculars for music are also the jazz band, jazz combo, and assembly band. One thing that applies to all the course and for children at this age, often they'll pick the course that their friend is taking, and I always highly recommend that their best choice is to take the one that they're most passionate about. So, if they take a course that their friend is taking, I'm going to be with my friend all year, but I really don't like that course, they're going to end up being unhappy. They're going to see their friends at recess and lunch. That's all good. So that would be my number one thing, if I can put that across, is to pick the course that they like the best. And that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Shane.
You're welcome.
This slide is the first of three subject-specific slides that talks about the range of courses within the subject. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about the French continuum, but I also want to point out that Madame Hetu, who is the head of our language acquisition department, is here if anybody has any specific questions. One of the things that I want to point out is that, not only do we teach students French and English at LCC, we also speak two academic languages, in that we speak the Mies language from the Quebec Ministry of Education, and we speak IB language. And you see both of those reflected here. When we talk about the name of the class, we've also identified it in the MYP, and the MYP organizes language acquisition by phase. And so we start with phase 1 all the way up to phase 6. And in addition, because of the strength of some of our students in the French language, we also have what we call language and literature taught in French, which is the equivalent of the language and literature in English. And so you can see that students have the opportunity in grade 9 to be placed into the most appropriate level based on what they are currently doing. And so the students who are already at LCC, by the end of the school year, the teachers will make a recommendation as to what level they should be in, whether it's the same phase that they are in now or the next phase. And for students new to LCC, we will make sure that they have been tested appropriately to make sure that they are placed in the correct spot. This tells you as well what will happen in grade 10 and in grade 11, because we like to plan ahead. Grade 11, there is a ministry exam. No matter what phase a student is in, they will be prepared for the ministry exam that will take place in May of the grade 11 year. I'm now going to call on Miss Owen, who's going to talk about the continuum in science and then in math.
Good evening, everyone. In the science continuum, the important thing to remember is that as you're accessing grade 9, that everyone is going to be in the same science course called Science and Technology. But we wanted to make sure that we gave you a little bit of foreshadowing for what that means later on once you hit grade 10 and grade 11. So if everyone's in the same science class in grade 9, that is going to then set the foundation for how you will move forward in your science courses. So as you go into grade 10, you will take a ministry exam, and there's two different options in grade 10 that students can pursue. So the first one is Science and Technology of the Environment and Science and Technology. So you just continue on with Science and Technology for those. The Science and Technology and STE course allows then students access to move on into science courses like physics and chemistry, biology, environmental systems and societies, which is an IB course, and design and technology, which is another IB course as well. So that combination really opens up all the next level sciences in grade 11. And usually most of our students find themselves within the ST and STE grade 10 science course. However, we also have the ST option. And so sometimes at the grade 10 level, depending on how things go in grade 9, this might be a better level for some students for multiple reasons. So some students, grade 10 is a little early to decide, but some students know very well that they are not interested in sciences and don't want to continue that path. And those students then have the option to choose a course like ESS, for example, or design technology. And then if they want to move forward into grade 12, for example, they can continue that either as a 2-year IB course or take a grade 12 option that's reflective of that. However, we just want to make sure that you're aware that students that take the science and technology option would then not be able to pursue physics and chemistry and move on to science options in CEGEP or at the university level, because those would be prerequisite courses to qualify for that. So we do encourage that students keep their doors open in grade 10. It's a little bit early. So as you go through your grade 9 science and technology course, it's really important that you reflect on how you're doing, partner with your teacher to kind of see what would be the best grade 10 fit for you, and then being aware of the long-term path where that can lead you. And so that's where we also encourage you to talk to your academic advisor to help you understand what those different levels mean. But this is just a little preview for you so you can understand what grade 9 science and technology is preparing you for long term. Okay. So here's the math continuum. So everyone's going to go into the same grade 9 mathematics course, and the mathematics course in grade 9 is also going to lay a foundation for you and help you understand your strengths and your weaknesses in math, and then help the teacher and you assess what might be the best level for you in grade 10 as you move forward. So there's 3 levels in grade 10 that we want you to be aware of. We have our CST math, we have our scientific math, and then we have our extended math. So the CST math is really the basic math that allows you to move forward, get your high school diploma, qualify for lots of lovely programs in social sciences, in the arts, and communications. It might be a class where students may not be as passionate or excited about math, but they still want to get that credit and move forward in their education. Whereas the scientific math allows students to then move forward and access either TS or SN math in grade 11, which open a few doors to either the sciences, if you're in SN math long-term or into commerce, or if you want to take the TS math into commerce at the CEGEP level. There's a lot of math levels. It gets a little bit confusing. So to simplify it for this presentation, the most important thing for students to know is that grade 9 math will allow you and your teacher to assess where the right fit is for you in grade 10. Most important thing for you to know, regardless of which level you end up in, there are always opportunities for you to bridge if you're not in the level that you need for what you want to do long term. So say, for example, you end up taking CST math in grade 10, that's the right level for you at that point in time, but you eventually want to go into something like commerce or sciences. We can then work with you to take a bridge course over the summer so you can bridge into a TS math, which gives you a bit more access if you go the CEGEP route. So the first thing to know is just how you do in grade 9 sets the tone for what recommendations might be made for grade 10, which then help you access certain types of programs later on. So we really encourage you to have a discussion with your teacher and with your academic advisor to fully understand that continuum and what that means for your interests long term. The last thing I just want to mention is the extended math. So the extended math, just to be clear, this is math that moves at a bit of a quicker pace. Students tend to be a lot more independent. You'd also be participating in math competitions. This is really a course for students that love, eat, breathe, sleep math. They really love it and they want more of it. It also covers a bit more material. So most of our students end up right around the SN math, but it really depends on what's the right fit for you at that point in time.
Thank you, Ms. Owen. I want to point out, can I go back to the math slide? I want to point out a couple of things to answer a question because I think many parents might have it. One is I wanted to point out that we are using MYP language when we talk about SN Math Extended. It is in place of what we would have previously called enriched math. And I had a parent raise a question about enriched math in grade 9. We are hoping that we will be able to offer a section of extended math in grade 9. But again, it's hard to predict exactly what it will look like next year. And if we are not able to have a standalone section of extended math, we will then make sure that the students are provided the opportunities to have that extension in math class, no matter what math class they are in. And now Miss Owen, the other Miss Owen, is going to take over and talk about co-curriculars, our other important part of school life.
All right, good evening, everyone. In case you're wondering, Maggie and I are not related. We just happen to have the exact same initials. So by email, I'm mon@lcc.ca, and Maggie gets the 2 after her name. So anyway, good evening, and welcome to Course Options for Senior School. So as is the case, or has been the case in middle school, there's a great range of co-curricular activities that we encourage all students to take part in and to participate in to ensure that they are continuing to build towards our mission of developing mind, body, and heart. So we have a range of clubs, activities, many options for different conferences, as well as athletic options. In terms of the athletic options, there are many different team sports for that can take place either as team sports or intramurals during the fall, winter, and spring. Some flag football, soccer, volleyball, hockey, tennis, swimming, badminton, track and field, to just name a few. Moreover, students are always encouraged to take part in our yoga programs as well as work out in the fitness center. More and more, we see students in the senior school taking part and really taking advantage of having a fitness instructor and fitness coach in the fitness center. Of course, we hope that we will get back to our very active and lively competition with other schools come next year. So students are encouraged to continue to take part in these, and we definitely see an increase in student participation in the fitness center and encourage students to do that. In terms of clubs and activities, the students in middle school who have participated in activities are encouraged and often continue with those same activities. But we also say at the beginning of grade 9, this is a great opportunity for your child to try something new. They may have been really involved because it's, they've been very involved, let's say, in debating. They should continue with that debating, but maybe they want to try the Fab Lab and try a new activity. So it's not too late. Students should continue to take part and try out different activities in the senior school. This year, we offered most, if not all, of our activities, well, many online. And we did find that some of these activities worked really well online. So for example, debating continues to take place on Monday afternoon. Debating has been very popular, and we do anticipate that next year we will look at some of these co-curriculars taking place perhaps in the evening to be able to offer that opportunity for students who would like to continue with that. In the arts, students who are taking the arts, as Mr. Shane has already said, if they are in band, they will be part of the senior band in practice after school. And they also have an opportunity to take part in the small ensembles, jazz band. And in addition, there's a senior school art club, improv, and also the senior school play that students can take part in. Again, students do not, if they haven't taken part in the middle school play, they can try out for the senior school play. They're encouraged to do so, and also to try improv in the senior grades. So I've said already, the senior school, we often find that the students take on a leadership role in many of the co-curriculars that they've taken on. So they'll start to coach or to help out the middle school students in debating, in Model UN, in robotics. So it is an opportunity for them to continue those. The Fab Lab is an area that we see a lot of senior school students taking an opportunity to use what they've used in middle school design. All grade 7 and 8 students have taken a design course. This is their opportunity to get into the Fab Lab next year and to start on their own project and to really use those skills that they've developed in design. Again, we hope that clubs and activities will resume in person next year and be our regular, very engaging and busy time, and those will continue to take place in the morning, at lunch, and after school, and the schedule will be made available in the fall. In terms of international outreach opportunities this year, we do want to continue to build our students' global awareness and awareness of different parts of the world and engage with students from around the world. This year, we have been able to do that through many online discussion groups, workshops, and conferences, and they have been very good, and students have had great experiences. We do hope that at the time, we do know that during your child's time in senior school, they will travel internationally and have an opportunity to travel internationally. That may not happen and most probably will not happen next year. However, we will be able to continue to have international opportunities virtually. And if we are able to offer an opportunity, we will do so, but we will definitely continue to have interactions with students from across the world. And I do guarantee, I will say this now, that we will travel internationally during the time that your children are in senior school. The students in grade 9 have an opportunity and are all encouraged and will begin the Duke of Ed Awards program. And they will start this at the beginning of the school year next year. There are 3 levels of the Duke of Ed, and many of our students will complete all 3 levels. So starting with the bronze, then silver and gold. And at each level, students must complete a service component, an outdoor experience or experiences, and to learn a new skill. Ms. Shadley oversees this program and definitely works with the students to ensure that they pursue the different levels, that they are aware of what they need to complete, and she makes sure that we have those opportunities available to help them complete those levels. As COVID restrictions ease, we will begin to plan more international opportunities. We'll continue to engage with our Round Square partners and offer what we can within next year, but there will definitely continue to be virtual opportunities.
Thank you, Ms. Owen. So we've thrown a lot of information at you. And as I said earlier, it will be coming to you in email so that you can look at it, and process it. But I also wanted to just put some faces to names again of people that you can reach out to contact. So the first slide shows our academic advising office. And if you're not sure who your child's academic advisor is, you can contact Mrs. Gentile, who manages all of the academic advisors. If you want to make an appointment to talk to an academic advisor, you just want to know to whom you should send a question. All right, they are a wonderful resource for talking about not only next year, but also what it could look like for the rest of your child's high school career and post-secondary as well. And then last, just a reminder of some of the other people that you met tonight. Myself as the Director of Academics, Ms. Owen, the Director of Student Life, Mr. Polak, who will be, as Mr. Salkel called it, the new Ms. Groff in grade 9, Ms. Chakas, our IB MYP coordinator, and then Ms. Curry, who is our IB DP coordinator for the grade 11 and 12 IB program. And Mr. Salkel, I'm going to turn it back to you.
Okay, so like Ms. McGuire said, there was a lot of information here. A lot of it is looking forward to the future beyond even grade 9. In the end, the choice in terms of options next year is between visual art, drama, and music. So please, like Mr. Shane said, have a discussion with your child. Just because you happen to like music and your child hates it would not be a great decision to suggest that they go that way. The reason why we went through all this information is to give you a grounding so that next year things become a little clearer and you can see what things happen. Grade 9 is the first year of senior school, but it's not make or break in terms of what options you take in where you end up in grade 9 determines your academic future and future success. So please approach things with sense and with a level-headedness. However, one of the things we at LCC are very proud of and very fortunate to have is such a strong academic advising program. So please feel free to reach out to those people if you have some questions about future paths, etc. I don't see that there's any questions that are left on there. If there's questions that remain afterwards, please feel free to email, if it's about the arts program, you can email Mr. Shane. If it's about about a specific academic area, speak to the teacher or the department head, or of course our academic advisors, as I just said. A reminder that the forms are due on April the 1st. However, if you are in a situation where you need a little bit more information, you need some discussion before that, please just let us know. Okay, we would like them in by the 1st, but we'd rather have them be correct than have 4 versions of yours by that time. So finally, thank you all very, very much for attending this evening, for attending our virtual senior school information evening. And we look forward to seeing you again, hopefully in person soon. Have a wonderful evening, everyone.